Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Sucho322 here, and I am messed it up. Anyways, not gonna edit it, not gonna re-record it. Yo, what is going on, fans and coaches of the ASL? My name is Sucho322 here, and today I'll be bringing you guys the ASL Season 6 Week 8 weekly recap. And yeah, so I'll be bringing you the weekly recap. As you guys probably noticed, transaction is gonna be roughly a day late, or just like a lot of hours late. I don't know if it's gonna be like 12 hours later, or if it's just gonna be an entire day. We'll see. I'm just gonna try and get weekly recap out for you guys on time. Things to go over. You guys will probably see that weekly heroes are duplicating a lot, but really the only things that weren't gonna duplicate that actually deserved a weekly hero this week were Raikou and Mega Gardevoir. So kind of just had to double up, you know. And I know I said this in the power rankings video last week, but Milan and Cam have been having issues with recording. You know, they're both on the East Coast, so the hurricane has been like knocking out power and all that good stuff. Not good stuff. It's pretty hard to deal with, but yeah, it's just life. Something's getting in the way, and yeah, it'll be resolved at some point, I'm sure. But enough rambling, let's go ahead and hop into the matches. We have a 1-0, 4-0, 4-0, 5-0, 5-0, 2-0, and 6-0. So big dominant fashion games. And we actually see a little bit of a playoff shakeup. So I'll get into that when we do. So first match, we have the Silverhemians taking on the Wenters Weavile. And Vish is actually going to take this dub 1-0 over TJ, bringing Vish back into a potential playoff run. If he loses this game and drops 2-6, there's really no shot of him getting into playoffs. But it also brings TJ down from a potential 4-4 record, which could have put him into a nice playoff spot. So let's hop into it. So we have a Rotom Frost leading out against the Uxie. Uxie's going to go for the U-turn right away, getting out into the Registeel, as Rotom is going to go for the Volt Switch. And is going to Volt Switch into the Heatran, which can put a lot of pressure onto this Registeel. And Vish is going to make the swap into his Rotom, predicting the Suicune to come out from TJ. So good play on his part. He's going to get a nice little Thunderbolt coming out here. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that it is a Choice Specs Rotom Frost. It's going to fire it off again. Crit does 47%. This Rotom is putting in a tremendous amount of work early on. And the Uxie would be able to U-turn out into the Suicune, which is obviously going to take a bunch of hits from this Heatran. Excuse me. But the Heatran does go for the Surf, so Vish is packing the absolute heat. And now he can go ahead and fire off a Solar Beam. This is going to make it so water attacks are not going to do as much, and the Heatran can do a lot more. So I believe that is going to be the Hidden Power Ground coming out from the Uxie. And now that Heatran gets up the rocks, it's going to go out into the Thundurus. And yes, it is Hidden Power Ground. Thank you for confirming that. Nice and Thundurus. So we're going to see a Nasty Spot come up from the Thundurus. And the Sandslash does go for a Rock Slide, so it looks like this is a Choice Scarf Sandslash. Not bad. It actually looks kind of good against his team. So, fearing Ribombee to outspeed, which it more than likely would, Vish is going to go out into his Steel-type Silvally, going to eat up that Moonblast, and then the Registeel is going to come out. Vish is going to hard swap out into his Beedrill, as opposed to going for a potential Parting Shot, but then the Beedrill just goes for a U-turn, getting on out of there, and going into the Tangrowth. So the Registeel is going to set up Rocks, going to try and pressure out the Thundurus, Rotom, and Beedrill. Rocks are really good against Vish's team at this point. And Tangrowth is going to get rid of the Reggie's leftovers, prevent it from getting any more residual health back. And is going to go for an Earthquake, get some nice little chip damage on the Ribombee. And then Ribombee goes for the Sticky Web. Vish predicts TJ to go for the Sticky Web and goes for a nice Poison Jab. So Vish is keeping up a lot of momentum by taking out TJ's Mon's Web by 1. And Vish is going to go into his Rotom. He does take the Seismic Toss and eats up his Mago Berry to go ahead and defog. So away go the Sticky Webs, and with Sticky Webs away, it gives Vish a chance to win this game, because otherwise it was looking very grim, and it was looking like Ribombee was going to have a field day. But now that that is over, or delayed rather, now that that's over, he doesn't have to deal with it, and Silvally is sitting in against the Suicune. Vish is just going to sack off his Rotom Frost as TJ goes for the rest, so getting some health back. Good on TJ for making that play. And out comes the Tangrowth to try and pressure out the Suicune, which it does fairly easily. And Tangrowth is going to miss the Power Whip, which is kind of unfortunate, because this Registeel is going to go for the Seismic Toss, and Tangrowth goes for the Earthquake. So that's just an extra turn of Toxic that the Tangrowth wouldn't have had to take it, or wouldn't have had to take. But either way, Tingrowth is going to go out into the Registeel or go out into the Silvally Steel. And now Vicious is going to double into his Tangrowth, predicting Suicune to come out. And TJ is going to try and stay in here, and he rolls a Surf. But Vicious is just going to go for the knockoff to get rid of the leftovers here. And Suicune is going to stay sleeping. It's going to get a Sleep Talk Rest, so very unfortunate, because that Power Whip is going to do some solid damage to Suicune. And Vicious is going to swap out, go into his Heatran. He does not deem it worthy anymore. And TJ is going to get off the Surf and kill off the Heatran. So out comes the Mega Beedrill, which does just claim a life at this point. Unfortunately for Vish, he's actually not going to kill. And this means he has one more Stealth Rock switch in after this. And instead of going for the U-turn, possibly fearing a Rocky Helmet, he's going to stay. He's going to keep it around. And the Silvally is going to go for the Rest. And so Vish is packing the recovery on this thing. And is going to get the Flamethrower. So a very lucky Sleep Talk roll as down goes Registeel. Out comes the Mega Gallade though. Vish is forced to sack off his Tangrowth as TJ is going to Mega Evolve and click Swords Dance. So this is not looking good for Vish. But since he did decide to keep his Mega Beedrill around, he can go ahead and hit it at any point. But the Thundurus is also going to outspeed and can go for a nice Hidden Power Flying. So out comes the Mega Beedrill, which is going to actually just do some damage at this point. It's going to go for the Poison Jab, gets rid of the Mega Gallade, and Uxie, I guess Uxie's Scarf. So there we go. Uxie is going to outspeed and does kill, did we already know that Uxie was Scarf? I don't actually remember. He's going to kill the Beedrill, but this Uxie just does nothing to Silvally, so doing 14% on a super effective hit with that Hidden Power Ground is not going to really matter, because Silvally is going to be able to Flash Cannon it to death, and that's going to be the Vish, keeping his playoff hopes alive and edging out a nice little 1-0 victory over TJ and the Slowbro. Moving on to the next game, we have the Houston Hoopas and the St. Louis Swablues, as Malone this week is going to move into the 6th spot for playoffs. Malone has never made playoffs in ASL history, but this could be his season, as he's sitting in the 6th spot right now. He's going to get another 4 kills with Thundurus Therian, and this man is taking the league by storm with Thundurus Therian. People just do not have answers for it. It's simple as that. Let's go ahead and see how it destroyed AZ's team. So we have Primeape taking on Tyrantrum. Primeape is in a really good position already, and could just go for the close combat right off the bat. That's still doing solid damage considering what it just hit in front of it. So out comes the Slowbro on the Toxapex, as AZ is going to double right out into the Tyrantrum, which is not the matchup he wants, because Slowbro can just go for a Scald here. Incoming Ferrothorn doesn't really care about a burn. It's probably just going to be a utility mod for setting up hazards or leech seeding around. So Ferrothorn is going to go for the Spike, and then Donphan goes for the Fire Fang. So packing coverage to be able to take this Ferrothorn down. So Donphan looks like a really effective way to break through AZ's Wall Core. Donphan tries to get a Rapid Spin off, but the Ferrothorn going for the Protect is going to say no, and that's not happening. So Donphan then goes for the Rapid Speed. It's going to free him of Leech Seed, so good play on Malone. And then goes out into his Slowbro, which is a Mega Slowbro, but he does not have to Mega Evolve it right away. He just has to be holding the Mega Stone. So Slowbro is going to go for the Scald. It's not going to burn onto the Miltank. And out comes the Stealth Rocks from Miltank. And Miltank's actually going to stay in, predicting Malone to over-predict. So good on AZ for that play. But he's going to go for the Milk Drink here. Help out his Miltank just a little bit. And then goes for the Body Slam into the Primeape. No paralysis either. Malone is going to U-turn again, trying to predict the Miltank to swap out. AZ just does not care. This is making me think that it is a Choppleberry set. But we've yet to see. Did we see leftovers? We did see leftovers. I'm sorry that I'm stupid, but it's just who I am. So we have Psychic coming out here, coming from the Slowbro onto the Miltank. Sorry about that. I had to take a drink. And Psychic is gonna be doing some solid damage, but nothing that Milk Drink can't help. And finally, AZ is gonna go out and do Incineroar. Once he's pretty sure that this thing is locked into Psychic, or at least is content with just clicking Psychic, because it's obviously not locked in. But Incineroar is going to U-turn out, does not want to take a Scald, and Ferrothorn is not going to get burned, so no one's getting burned or paralyzed. It's kind of weird, but the Slowbro is packing Hidden Power Fire. Can I ask why it gets Flamethrower? Okay. You know, okay, why not? You know, flex on him. Maybe he was expecting like an imprisoned Incineroar. Can't use that Flamethrower anymore? Okay. Alright, so Incineroar is going to U-turn on out of here. And is going to go into the Tyrantrum as the Slowbro, it just doesn't care, dude. It's just going to keep clicking Slack off. And AZ has not had the best head smash luck this season, as he's going to miss another one there and takes a lot of damage for it. And this Slowbro is it's just sitting here. It just doesn't care, dude. The Primeape is going to come out on the Ferrothorn. As Ferrothorn goes for the spikes, Malone is going to be able to hit something really hard. Ferrothorn is going to go for the Protect, seeing what the Primeape wants to do. We'll see if Malone doubles out into his Thunder, restricting the Toxapex. That works too. He's going to try and protect the Toxapex, and he gets it. So Toxapex is going to go for the Baneful Bunker. Wants to see what this thing is going to do. What do you know? Click Slack off. He's got to be damn near close to out. We're going to see if it burns. Still no burns. Still no burns either. I'm appalled. The Slowbro's clicked Scald like 47 times. What is this? Okay, so Goodra's going to get a Sap Sipper from the Leaf Seed. And it's Curse. Nice. Solid set. So we're going to see Gyro Ball coming out here from the Ferrothorn. And Goodra is going to be looking mighty threatening. It's going to go for another Curse. Unfortunately, I don't think Goodra outspeeds anymore. So Malone goes right out into his Thundurus, expecting the Haze. And Thundurus puts on a lot of pressure because it actually just clicks a move and does something. Believe it or not. So the Toxapex is just going to go ahead and go for the Baneful Bunker. Thundurus goes for the Thunderbolt. It does 26. That is an Assault Vested Incineroar. My god. Alright, so the Slowbro comes out on the Incineroar because it actually does nothing to it. And Slowbro is obviously going to click Slack off here as the Tyrantrum is going to come out. Tyrantrum gonna miss another Head Smash. Update, don't run Head Smash, run a Stone Edge. 40 turns in. We finally get a kill. Thank God. And this Ferrothorn would probably be dead if you were running Flamethrower, but whatever. So we got Protect coming out here. Okay, I'm getting bored. Here we are. Donphan is going to come out. Donphan might just try and go for the Rapid Spin. Otherwise, it's just going to go for the Fire Fang and kill this thing off. So you can see a Protect coming out from Ferrothorn, and we're going to see Rapid Spin. Malone might go for Fire Fang since Ferrothorn might be content to stay in. Nah, he's just going to Rapid Spin. That does 11%. Good lord, that's a lot for a Rapid Spin. That's a 20 base power move. But Double Edge Mega Metacham is going to come out here, just destroys that thing. I mean, what'd you expect? Thundurus is going to get a nice little T-Bolt off, gets a lot of damage out into the Miltank. And out comes the Ferrothorn, which Thundurus is going to go ahead and go for the Incinerate. There we go. That's the fire type move that we're looking for, boys. And Malone is just going to go for the Nasty Plot, makes a nice play there as Incineroar comes out. And then Malone is going to go for the Gigavolt Havoc, getting rid of the Incineroar. So he's playing his Thundurus really, really well. So the Mega Metacham is going to go for a Fake Out. But AZ is going to have to sack off another Mon to this absolute monster. And Malone is going to go for the Incinerate. Bada bing, bada boom, down it goes. And out comes the Mega Metacham. Malone is going to go right out into his Magmortar. Takes the Fake Out, and this is going to drop to the high jump kick. But Thundurus is going to come back out, can go for a Thunderbolt, and then out comes Toxapex, which Toxapex is going to live the hit, but it's not going to kill. No way, it's a Toxapex. First burn of the game, 59 turns in, 12 or something Toxics later. So we see the Toxapex go for the Baneful Bunker, and another Baneful Bunker. Just end it, you know, AZ, you know it's not going to end well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Slowbro wins. Here, let me go back so it'll say that Malone has won and such. Yeah, just let it end. Thanks, Chief. Thanks, appreciate it. So yeah, this is gonna be the game. 64 turns later, we have the St. Louis Saw Blues taking down the Houston Hoopas. God, this is already such a long video, dude. Please have short games for the rest of them. But anyway, for the next match, we have the Training Center Bowl. We have Brett, coach of the Seattle Togedemaros, taking on White Ferret, or Ferret, coach of the Philadelphia Flagons. If you don't know the significance of this game, Brad, our commissioner, had a spin-off project where it was called the Training Center, where coaches who wanted to improve their play would get mentored by a different coach that has like really good draft league experience. And this happened to be the finals of the Training Center, with Brett taking it all over Ferret in the end, where Brad was Brett's mentor and TCP was Ferret's mentor. So we still got that rivalry going on in the ASL, and let's go ahead and see how it went down. So we have Heliolisk taking on Gliscor, and they're both going to swap out, so we're going to see a new lead matchup, Jirachi against Celesteela. And out comes the Torkoal on the Jirachi. It's going to take 5% from that U-turn, and then out comes a Gliscor on the Torkoal. So the Torkoal is going to go right back out into Celesteela as Gliscor goes for the knockoff. So now we know that this is a Z-move Celesteela. That is pretty much confirmed. And Celesteela was trying to go for the Earthquake there, predicting Jirachi to come out. And that is so much damage, considering it's going into a Gliscor. Good God, Celesteela. So Celly is going to go for the Seed Bomb here. Does a lot of damage to that Jellicent. And out comes the Heliolisk, predicting a Scald to come out. But the Jellicent does just go for the Recover. And Heliolisk is going to go for a nice Dark Pulse. So getting some good damage. Trying to maybe catch the Gliscor coming in. And it's just going to go for another Dark Pulse. Gets rid of the Jellicent. And Brett just does not have switch-ins for this Heliolisk, in all honesty. And Jirachi is going to go for the U-turn and go out into Gliscor. As Ferret just doesn't care. He's going to be content with clicking Dark Pulse, getting some big damage out onto Brett's team. As Gliscor is going to be flinched. So very, very unfortunate. Gliscor is going to be sitting at a very low amount of health, and X-Cloud gets to claim a kill here. It's going to be on to the Gliscor, and with the Fire Blast coming out, Blaziken is 100% free to come in. And Blaziken gets to just click High Jump Kick. It's going to claim something, but the Low Kick does come out, and that is not going to be enough to 2-hit KO this Torkoal. So out comes the Mega Gardevoir, as the Stealth Rocks will be set up. So Mega Gardevoir is going to set up a substitute. I don't really understand why, but Ferret is going to go for the Toxic. That's a really risky play because Lava Plume and Fire Blast are literally right there. But anyways, the Mega Gardevoir is going to set up a Calm Mind and another Calm Mind, and this new acquisition from Brett is working like a charm at the moment. Now that his sun's gone, this Torkoal is a lot less threatening, and a sub is going to be set up again. And we're going to see a Calm Mind coming out from Mega Gardevoir. And Liquidation is going to be the move of Blastoise's choice. That crit probably didn't matter unless it was Assault Vested Blastoise. That's the only thing I can think of. Hyper Voice is going to rip through the Celesteela because it is offensive. Sylveon's going to come out. There's no way this thing is taking a Psyshock or a Hyper Voice even. So out comes the X-Cloud as well. This thing is soundproof. At least I had to guess. Guess not. I don't know if that was a misgen. I mean, unless you wanted to hit the Scrappy. Hit the Jellicent with Scrappy, but yeah, Mega Gardevoir is going to be able to claim a 5-kill sweep as the Seattle Togedemaru's are going to repeat the championship of the training center and is going to be able to come out with a 4-0 victory over the Philadelphia Flygons. And in the next match, we have the Utah Hoots taking on the Jersey Justice, and we see Susie taking on Milan, and Milan is going to win this in a 5-0 fashion, really knocking Susie down quite a bit in the playoff run. He was sitting at a really comfortable spot, but now it is looking not as great because he's sitting at 3-5, but a lot of the rest of the league is 3-5 as well, so not all hope is lost. No weekly heroes in this one, so let's just go ahead and hop into it. So we have Metagross and Empoleon here. Empoleon's going to go right out into Serena, predicting the Earthquake, as Milan just does fire that off. Susie's going to go for a U-turn, goes out into the Beware, as Meteor Mash is going to do a solid 17%, doing absolutely nothing to thicky Beware over there. And we're going to see a Drain Punch come out. Obviously not going to be doing anything to the Copagrigus. Copagrigus is just a free swap in on the Beware every single time. And Empoleon comes in, is going to accept the burn. It doesn't really mind. And is going to set up some rocks. So it's looking like the Empoleon is a berry at this point. If I had to guess, it would probably be Shucka. Shucka would make so much sense against Milan's team. It would make it so that Metagross, Deontay, and Garchomp are all walled. So, if Susie's not Shucka, I'm very confused. But anyways, Glaceon is going to go for the Ice Beam against the Lantern. His Lantern is going to go for the Scald. I feel like that was really offensive Glaceon. I don't know. That did some good damage. But anyways, the Serena is going to go for the U-turn. Obviously not going to work because the Lantern does click Protect. And out comes the Garchomp on the Serena, which is going to go for the U-turn. Rough Skin is going to hurt Serena. And out comes the Glaceon. It's going to be trying to do... Sorry, I hit the mute button. but it's going to be trying to do some damage. It's going to wish up the Serena instead, and Lancer's going to go for the Ice Beam. So Milan is not having any of Susie's shenanigans. I saw that coming a mile off. And Lantern is going to go ahead and go for the Volt Switch. Just some solid damage because it is a special attacker. And Cofagrigus is obviously a free switch in every single time. So, the Cofagrigus is obviously going to scare this thing out with a Will-O-Wisp. And Susie's going to get into his Tapu Koko. And the Lantern is going to come out. So, very good plays on Milan's part as the Tapu Koko is forced to U-turn. Does get a ton of damage off, but is forced to U-turn nonetheless. And Beware is going to take a big Volt Switch in the electric terrain. And not where Beware wants to be at this point. Beware is going to get Psychic by the Metagross, so very good prep on Milan's part. And out comes Tapu Koko trying to just put in some work. And Susie does go for the Gigavolt Havoc. That's going to be no bueno. It's going to heal up the Lantern. I mean, Susie's playing from the back, so that's not the worst play in the world, but Lantern was right there. So Susie's going to go for the U-turn. He goes into his Glaceon here, as Glaceon is going to take a lot from that Volt Switch, and it just enables the Garchomp to come out. Garchomp gets an Earthquake off of anything. Pinsir is going to be the mon of choice, so either the Empoleon's not Shuka or it doesn't have Ice Beam. But the Pinsir comes out, the Pinsir can clicks Swords Dance. Very unfortunate because the Empoleon now has to come out. And Deontay is going to go for a Moonblast. I still feel like it's Shuka Berry. So Milan thinks it's Shuka Berry too, so he's going to swap out. And or he just didn't think it would kill, either one. Lantern is going to go for the Volt Switch onto the Empoleon, goes out into the Greninja, as Scald is going to do a big chunk of damage to this Greninja and is going to burn it. So Empoleon is sitting really low, but so is the Greninja, and Greninja is going to be outspeeding everything that isn't called Tapu Koko, which has to come out now because it's the only thing that will outspeed. And Susie is honestly trying to just get a kill at this point. He's playing really far behind. And he is going to live with his Tapu Koko, so he does get a kill with the U-turn. And out comes Mega Pinsir, but Deontay just wins at this point. So does Metagross. Metagross going to go for the Bullet Punch. Doesn't kill, but the Earthquake is not going to kill the Metagross. And Bullet Punch twice is going to end it. Quick Attack, not quite enough. And that is going to be the game with Tapu Koko dying to rocks. And yeah, Jersey Justice are going to win this one 5-0 over the Utah Hoots. So, let me take a drink of water. Alright, so for the next match we have the Portland Timbers taking on the PC Barcelona. As Shadow had a very good run up until this point. He's still having a good run, but he's going to be knocked out of a playoff spot for now. He's going to be sitting in the 7th spot, as Malone does have 4 more differential points than Shadow. And yeah, so I take a 5-0 victory here, as Malone is able to move into the 6th spot. And let's just go ahead and hop into it. No weekly heroes, no weekly heroes. So we have Celebi leading out against the Steelix. Celebi is going to go for a Giga Drain, as Steelix is going to set up the rocks. And out comes the Rotom Heat against Celebi. Celebi is going to go for the U-turn, going out into the Sharpedo. Rotom is going to go right out into the Quagsire, I think. Yeah, as Shadow's going to double into his Zeraora, and then Shadow doubles into his Alolan Ninetales, as I double into my Rotom Heat. So we got a lot of swapping going on here. And Shadow is going to go ahead and set up the Aurora Veil, staying in on a fire type. So this man is playing no games. Rotom goes for the Volt Switch, and Megalopoly is going to double out into the Rotom Heat, predicting the Druddigon to come out. Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. And Zeraora is going to come out on the Rotom, and it's going to take a lot from the Overheat. It's going to take 33% from it. And the Rotom is going to, I think, it's going to go for the Volt Switch. And Zeraora goes out into Celebi, and Celebi comes in where Latias is going to be against it. So Latias is going to go for the Wish on the incoming Dazzling Gleam. Now Shadow is confirmed Light Clay on his Alolan Ninetales and has 3 turns of Veil left. Celebi is going to U-turn out into the Sharpedo. Rotom sitting at full, and Sharpedo is not going to Mega Evolve. It's going to click Waterfall, and due to this Aurora Veil, the Sharpedo is going to live the Volt Switch. But out comes the Virizion with a speed boost from Sharpedo. Sharpedo's going to Mega Evolve, but this is a Choice Scarf of Virizion, and it will be able to kill the Sharpedo. And out comes the Celebi, knowing that this is a Choice locked in Virizion. It cannot click X Scissor on this turn, and Celebi can U-turn out as Rotom comes in. Big Bad Nidoking is going to try and pressure it out, as out comes the Quagsire. Ice Beam is going to be the move of choice from Shadow here, and Ice Beam is going to just straight two-shot the Quagsire. And out comes the Latias, as Nidoking is almost going to kill with a crit on the Sucker Punch, but Psyshock does get rid of the Nidoking. And we're sitting at 5-4, and Celebi comes out. Gonna go for the Protect with Latias, as Celebi goes for the U-turn. And Latias is going to get some leftovers back, and then goes out into the Steelix, as Celebi can just go for a U-turn here. Alola Ninetales comes out, but it will not be able to kill this Steelix in any way, shape, or form. So the Veil will be set up, but Steelix can just get off a nice little Gyro Ball, bringing this game to 5-3. And then out comes the Zeraora, which Zeraora will not be able to kill under any circumstance due to a Chople Berry. And then the Steelix can just go ahead and get a kill with Earthquake. So Steelix is doing work right now. And out comes the Celebi, and I just stay in with Steelix, going to get Giga Drained as Steelix goes for the Gyro Ball, trying to just waste some Aurora Veil turns at this point. Out comes the Rotom Heat on the Celebi, as U-turn is going to come out here. Druddigon is going to take the place of Celebi, and Will-O-Wisp is going to be fired off from their Rotom, as Druddigon is going to get some late rocks up, and Rotom is going to just try and chip down this Druddigon. It's going to get rocks damage on the Latias as Dragon Tail comes out here. Latias goes for the Protect on the Druddigon, and then can go ahead and just go for a Dragon Pulse for some good damage. And then Druddigon actually goes to the rest. So Druddigon is going to not go for the kill, and is going to, get the rest off. So Latias goes for the Dragon Pulse, and Druddigon does not appear to have Sleep Talk. So the Dragon Pulse is going to be able to kill the Druddigon. And out comes the Celebi, as the Latias will go out to Mega Lopunny to get the final kill of the game. And the Celebi is going to go for Psychic. Mega Lopunny is going to go for the Fake Out, and the Celebi is not going to be outspeeding. So Mega Lopunny will get the final kill of the game, getting a nice return kill. And that is going to be the game. The Portland Timbers are going to win 5-0 over the PC Barcelona, or Pokemon Club Barcelona. So, for game number 6 of the day, we have the Chicago Conch Elders, or of the week, I guess. The Chicago Conch Elders taking on the Hartford Whalmers. Very hyped up game of the week, because we have, I believe, what was the number 1 seed taking on the number 2 seed. Dave does fall to number 4 after losing this game. He's going to drop to number 4, but he did lose to the number 1 seed, so there's not... You can't fault him at all. TCP is going to remain undefeated at an 8-0 record so far. And one of the weekly heroes was Megalodios, claiming 3 lives. And yeah, let's hop into it. So we got Megalodios leading out against the Rotom Wash. Is going to heavily favor the Megalodios. It's going to be very scary for Dave already. But this Stack Attack is going to be taking a nice little hit here. And Melodic is going to come out as Stack Attack goes for the rocks, hitting him up. And is not going to really care taking a Scald, apparently. So the Toxic is going to come out into Melodic. And Dave is pretty much just hoping that the Florges does not have Aromatherapy. So Rotom's going to come out, gets burned with the Scald, which is really annoying, because that's going to negate its leftovers. So not what Rotom wanted to see for sure, but it's going to set up a sub now, as Mirrored Coat is going to come out from TCP. He's going to try and catch that thing on a Volt Switch to get some big damage off. And Dave knows now to not Volt Switch. And he's going to go for the Thunderbolt now, as Megalodios comes in. And Rotom can go ahead and Volt Switch out now. But it's going to go for the Foul Play. So Dave potentially predicting a physical Megalodios. Not a bad expectation, because physical Megalodios actually looks stupid good against Dave's team. So Gourgeist is going to come out. Oh yeah, we needed to know that he has Latiosite. Thanks for that one. But this is going to just obliterate Gourgeist with the Draco Meteor. So out comes the Mega Bird. It's going to go for a workup, because Dave knows that he lives. So Calm Mind is going to come out. The Hurricane is going to do some solid damage. Gets a nice confusion on the Latios, and he's going to hurt itself in confusion. That is devastating for TCP. The Draco Meteor is going to not kill the Mega Bird. And Mega Bird was looking terrifying. As it's going to get a Roost off as well to try and live a potential hit. So Roost is going to come out, but the Melodic is going to try and put on as much pressure as it can. Dave has got to attack now, because it's going to be the best shot he has of living any hit. So out comes the Diggersby. Dave is going to go right out into his Rotom Wash anyways. which is just going to get obliterated. It's a Diggersby. You can't expect that thing to live hits. Are you kidding me? So the Zygarde is going to be sitting in here, but TCP has his Avalugg at very high health, and the Zygarde can just go for a Coil. So the Avalugg goes for an Avalanche. Avalanche. I almost said Avalanche. That would have been even worse. Okay, Avalanche. So we see a Rest coming out from the Zygarde. This is looking like a very annoying set from Dave here. But Sleep Talk Rest, not going to be really doing anything. How do we get through this? What's the solution to this? Okay, now we know the solution. So Zygarde is going to eventually just kill this thing off. And then TCP's got to really hope this thing does not have extreme speed. But he knows it doesn't have extreme speed, so down goes the Zygarde. Unlucky. And out comes the Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot is going to go for the Roost, as Psychic's going to do some solid damage. And now Mega Pidgeot is going to go for the Hurricane, getting rid of the Mega Latios. And Diggersby comes out. Diggersby goes for the Return, which is obviously going to kill. And then there's nothing that Infernape can really do to win, because it is Choice Scarf Diggersby, which means that had to be Choice Scarf Infernape, which means that this is not going to do anything. So that is going to be the game. TCP is going to keep his undefeated record intact, as he will win 2-0 over Dave and the Chicago Conch Elders. So, moving into the last game of the week, we have the St. Louis Samurott taking on the Aussie Kangaskhan's. Raikou is a weekly hero in this match, got 4 kills, and with Brad's debut back into the ASL, I know we expected a little bit more, but you got to give the guy time. He's not played that much Mons that I'm aware of since his retirement in Season 5. So the guy is a little bit rusty, so he's got to ease his way back into this. And yeah, let's go ahead and go into things. There's a pretty simple reason why he got 6-0, and I'll explain it. But we're going to see Cobalion go for the Toxic, as Zapdos goes for the Thunder Wave and then goes for a Volt Switch. Going on to the Reuniclus, as Cobalion is going to set up a Stealth Rock. And the Reuniclus is going to go for a Thunder Wave, trying to predict Ian to swap out. And then Anderson is going to go out into his Wartortle. Looks specially defensive to me, which it might be specially defensive. Who knows? So we're going to see the Kyurem going right out, being brought out here as the Raikou goes for the Aura Sphere. I'm going to pause because that's pretty significant. Anderson forgot that this thing even had Aura Sphere, so he thought the Kyurem was going to be enough. Look at the rest of his team. Do I need to say any more? No. So the Reuniclus is going to go for his Psyshock. Does a lot of damage, and it's going to take a lot of damage. So the Deontay comes out here. Thunderbolt does so much damage, and Anderson pretty much has to pick something to die at this point. So Raikou gets that kill. Raikou is going to get another kill unless Anderson fodders off another thing for regen, which he does. And then out comes the Thunderbolt. So Raikou is going to go ahead and claim another one because Anderson has to sack again for regen. And yeah, this was interesting. But Drapion is going to come out now since the Reuniclus is really forced into a spot where it has to Psyshock. And Drapion kills it with a knockoff. And then Minior is going to come out, which then the Drapion is going to be swapped into the Slowbro. Minior is going to go for the Shell Smash. And the Minior is going to go ahead and Shell Smash again, trying to be able to kill this Slowbro. And Scald is going to just kill it. So that was Brad's way of trying to just win it right there. He had to play for Ian's choke. But yeah, he thought that Raikou didn't have Aura Sphere. Valid point for bringing such a Raikou weak team, because he thought the Kyurem Black would be enough to handle it. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And the Aussie Kangaskhan's are going to get a nice 6-0 victory over the St. Louis Samurotts and our returning coach, Brad. So that is going to be the video, guys. A bit of a long one. But we did have some early games that were really long. But anyways, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.